everyone, welcome back to my channel, Lay on Keys. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I'm glad you can be part of the journey. So today, in this video, I want to introduce the concept of scales. So what are scales? Basically, the easiest way I can describe it is it's a series of notes that accompanies a key. Usually most scales have about 8 notes, and usually the first and the last key are the same. That may sound confusing, but I'll demonstrate that in a second. So my approach to this is, well, when I first had to learn all the different scales, I thought, oh, okay, well, there is 12 different keys. That means there must be 12 different scales, right? So I thought at first, okay, so I really have to memorize all these scales. But as I was, starting to learn the different scales, especially the major scales, which are the most basic scales you can learn, I realized there's actually a pattern to this, almost like a formula. So once I knew this formula, it was like, oh, okay. If I apply this formula to this key or that key, you get the same results. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate today. It's actually not too hard to figure out what like a major scale, for example, is if you just follow the simple rule. So in this video, we're just focused on the major scales. So basically this is how it goes. For example, we have C major, the C major scale. And the good thing about the C major scale is if you know what all the white notes are already, it's pretty simple. It's pretty much just all the white notes. So that's a given. You already know what the C major scale is. But basically, for the C major scale, why it's called the C major scale is because C is the first key of the scale. And it has 8 notes in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And like I mentioned before, usually in the scale, it's pretty much an octave, meaning 8. But notice how like it starts with a C and it ends with a C. So that's what makes it a scale, okay? Now, what makes this a major scale is pretty simple. For the most part, the distance between most of the keys is 1 full step. The only difference is after the 3rd note and after the 7th note, it would be a half step. Okay, so let me demonstrate. So the first note is C. When you go to D, that's a full step, which is the 2nd note. The 3rd note is another full step, E. But notice the 4th note, F, which is only 1 key away, is a half step, right? Now the 5th note, G, is a full step. The 6th note, A, is a full step. The 7th note, B, is a full step. And then notice C, which is only 1 key away, is a half step. Okay? So that's the basic formula for a major scale. Just have to remember most of the keys are full steps away, but remember after the 3rd and after the 7th note, it's a half step. Okay, so like I said before, the C major scale is pretty easy to recognize because it's all white notes, but I'm going to try to give an example with another key, such as, let's go with C sharp. So C sharp, right? C sharp major. C sharp, that's the first key, right? So if you go to the second note, one full step, that's a D sharp. The third note, one full step, is a F. The fourth note, now remember, after the third note is a half step, so the fourth note would be a half step up, which is F sharp. The fifth note, going a full step now, would be A flat or G sharp. The sixth note, which is another full step, is B flat. And the seventh note, another full step, would be C. And remember, after the seventh note is a half step, which should bring you back to C sharp. Okay, so same rules. You start with the note of the key, you end with the note of the key. It's just a higher octave. Okay? So I'm not gonna go through all the different keys in this video just because it is might be overkill for one video. But if you guys need it, I will try to provide instructions on how to do the other keys if this formula still doesn't register with you guys. But honestly, even if you don't check out those videos, just using this formula, it will be pretty easy to figure out what the major scale is. And you can even play around with it, you know, play with different keys and just try to figure it out on your own. It may take some time to process it, but with practice, you'll start to see what the patterns are, and it'll start to make sense. Okay? All right, so now we're gonna try a quiz. Okay, that is it for this video. So I hope you guys learned something. I know it may take some time to get used to it and learn the keys, but I promise you, if you just remember that formula, it will come naturally. You will figure out the keys in no time. So till next time, bye.